Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a man in court today for allegedly shooting his girlfriend in the head. We're learning new details about what police found at her home last night.
Plus, a cyber attack still having impacts on Connecticut hospitals and clinics. We'll have an update.
Plus, funding to preserve historic sites in the capital city. We'll show you what local officials are doing to protect one park.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. We are on the Weather Watch tonight. Let's take a live look outside right now. Dark clouds rolling in for some areas of the state as we could see some rain tonight. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. So what can we expect, Rachel?
Hit or miss showers and storms. So some towns will get some rain for the lawn or garden and others not so much. A severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So it goes another couple of hours for Litchfield and also for Hartford counties. But so far, taking a look at the radar, we're quiet in Connecticut at the moment. We're watching thunderstorms to the north, but it looks like the threat for severe weather is actually fairly low for us at this time. It's much greater for our friends that live to the northwest and the Berkshires all the way up through northern New England. However, we could still see an isolated shower, a thunderstorm. We're looking at this one that's south of Albany that could end up clipping parts of Litchfield County, but there's nothing south of that that's immediately moving in. We also have this batch of showers farther north. Eventually, some of that activity will hold together and start to move into Connecticut, and you'll see more numerous thunderstorms to the north. So a shower or storm in spots as we head throughout the next couple of hours or so. You might need to run inside quickly, but you can fire up the grill, make dinner on the deck or the patio. And as we head towards daybreak tomorrow, it is all done and over with, and we are looking at a beautiful weekend ahead. Highs in the 80s, falling levels of humidity, and plenty of sunshine. We'll take a look at that full weekend forecast coming up.
Always love a beautiful weekend, Rachel. Thank you. All right, a Woodbridge man faces charges after police say he shot his girlfriend in the head during an argument at home Thursday night. 49-year-old Raymond Sosa is a convicted felon facing a judge for the first time since last night's incident. Fox 61 New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc was there, and she joins us now live outside the Woodbridge Police Department with more. Julia.
Woodbridge police say that this is a case of domestic violence, and it is one that neighbors are shaken up by.
This is the first shooting I can remember of this close to home.
Andy Marotti has lived in this neighborhood all his life. After hearing what happened around the corner from him Thursday night, he's feeling uneasy.
Very scary, because if it happened there that close to my house, who's to say it wouldn't happen to my house?
Woodbridge police got the call just before 8 p.m. for reports of a shooting inside this Raymond Street home. When they got here, police found a woman with a gunshot wound on her head and a baby on her hip. They say the baby was uninjured, but they took them both to the hospital.
There was a suspect inside the house who retreated further inside and would not surrender himself.
That suspect is 49-year-old Ray Sosa. Court papers say he's the victim's boyfriend. Police called on nearby departments to help, and after about an hour, they arrested him.
Do you understand those orders?
Sosa facing a judge this afternoon with a cast on his arm and a limp from a crash he says he got into the night before the shooting.
You must stay away from their home and wherever they reside.
Court papers show a friend made the call to police after the victim told her over the phone Sosa shot her. She told police she overheard the suspect saying, quote, "I didn't shoot you, it was an accident." But police found evidence of a crime scene with bullet holes in the walls of the home. They also found a semi-automatic rifle with high-capacity ammunition magazines in a military-style backpack, something police say Sosa shouldn't have as a convicted felon.
People like this defendant are a danger in our society.
Now, Sosa does have a long rap sheet, leaving neighbors wondering who's really living next to them.
Sure, in that state of mind, what might you do?
Now, Sosa is facing weapons charges, assault charges, and risk of injury to a minor. As for his bond, it was set at $750,000, and he's expected to be back in court 3 weeks from now. Now, as for the victim here, police say the injuries that she is suffering from are non-life-threatening. We are in Woodbridge. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Julia, that's good news. Thank you. New tonight, a teen has been charged in connection to a fatal stabbing that happened outside an East Haven school back in May. Police say they arrested a 15-year-old for allegedly stabbing 15-year-old Dustin Ceccarelli to death on the grounds of Tuttle Elementary School back on May 23rd. The suspect's name has not been released due to his age. Police say in a statement that they hope the arrest is the beginning of the healing process for Dustin's family. All right, we are continuing to follow developments in the cyber attack that affected patient operations at several Connecticut hospitals and clinics.
A day later, some services and clinics are still impacted. Now the FBI is investigating the cyber attack. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joins us in studio with more and the very latest. Jake.
Well, Brent and Sarah, the New Haven FBI field office in New Haven confirming to Fox 61 that they are part of the investigation into a cyber attack that affected several hospitals and clinics within the Eastern Connecticut Health Network. The parent company of ECHN, Prospect Medical Holdings, is based in Los Angeles. They were the victim of a cyber attack Thursday. Now, in addition to Connecticut, Prospect Medical Holdings has locations in California, Texas, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania. The FBI special agent in charge at the New Haven field office is calling it a ransomware investigation, which is the most common type of cyber attack for hospitals, where attackers obtain confidential information and hold it for ransom and threaten to leak patient information on the dark web if demands are not met.
You go into a doctor's office now and they can kind of see everything related to you in terms of medical information. So that's what could be taken. It can be harmful to individuals in terms of having their records out there and potential identity theft downstream as well.
Now, it's important to note that officials have yet to say if any patient information has been compromised in this attack. But while they're still trying to understand the extent of the attack, hospital leaders still don't know how long it could take until all of their operations are back up and running. Staff are still able to care for patients at Manchester Memorial, Rockville General, and Waterbury Hospitals. So if you have a medical emergency, you can still be seen at those facilities, though all elective surgeries are still being postponed until further notice. We have a list of all the services and locations that are closed due to the ransomware attack on our website, fox61.com. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you. Mourners said a final farewell today to a Stamford pastor who was hit and killed by a police cruiser. A funeral for 69-year-old Reverend Tommy Jackson took place at Union Baptist Church today. Jackson was walking back across the street after getting his mail on July 26th when Stamford police officer Zachary Lockwood hit him with his cruiser. Lockwood was responding to another unrelated car accident at the time. He is currently on paid administrative leave.
Colt Park in Hartford's getting some major upgrades. Officials announced the park will get $1 million towards restoring the Colt Gardeners Cottage and Carriage House and integrating the buildings into the Coltsville National Historic Park. The city's mayor says this is needed to preserve the community's history.
These structures, like so many other historic structures in our city, around our state, and around the country, have not gotten the investment they need to preserve and protect that history. Until now.
The 260-acre site was home to Samuel Colt's industrial enterprise in the 1800s, that is, and contained manufacturing armories along with community amenities like a social hall and a library.
Local officials are calling for a multi-billion-dollar federal investment to solve what they are calling a child care crisis. Senator Richard Blumenthal calling on the Biden administration to invest $16 billion to help child care providers cover costs and retain staff, something they've had trouble doing after emergency COVID funding ended.
Continuing at the present funding level is a recipe for disaster and catastrophe in child care right now.
Blumenthal also urging the president to pass 2 bills that would provide even more funding for child care over the next 10 years and to cap costs for families in need at $10 per day.
The job market continued its slowdown in July, but it remains resilient. Fox's Madeline Rivera breaks down the jobs report from Washington.
For the second time in a row, the country added fewer than 200,000 jobs. It's another sign the job market is slowing. Welcome news for the Federal Reserve, which has been trying to cool inflation. The White House is already taking credit.
Some of the nation's largest financial institutions have begun to recognize the significant impact of our economic approach. Morgan Stanley increased their expectations for economic growth, as did Bank of America.
The unemployment rate is also near a record low at 3.5%. Despite positive economic markers, Americans are still pessimistic about the economy. A Fox News poll shows 76% of voters think the economy is in fair or poor shape.
We still think that there's possibility for a downturn, probably late this year, early next year.
Average hourly earnings are also up 4.4% from last year, higher than the Fed would like to see.
Workers will continue to think that there are options out there. They're going to quit. They're going to go for jobs that they think will have higher wages. And also, they're not going to pull back on spending.
But the Biden administration is downplaying the possibility of a wage spiral where higher pay leads to higher prices.
One of the things that this jobs report demonstrates is that consumer spending, right, confidence is also growing. This is also creating jobs in industries that were really devastated during the pandemic.
As unions nationwide, like the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA, demand higher pay, some economic experts are worried the bump could put pressure on companies to increase prices to handle the higher cost of labor. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.